Hey, I'm Rob for JTRpodcast.com, and this is my Hall of Fame inductees for 2020. These are the games I played for the first time 5 years ago, so 2015, and they're games I still like today. There are, I think, 6 off the top of my head, so I'm not going to spend too long on each one. I want to get this through these as quick as possible. Then you can go to JTRpodcast.com/Hall of Fame, and you can see them all there and read my reviews and videos and stuff. So, let's start with the number 6 entry. Now, I say number 6, it's not like they're in order or anything, but here it is. You can see the big gap that appeared up there. It is El Grande Big Box, still the best area control game I have ever played. Here you have the board with all the different regions on. You're trying to control on with the different points total, and the box itself is full of stuff because it has all the expansions in that came out throughout its entirety. I think there's 6 different expansions in there. I've only played with one of them, but there you go. So it's all done with cards. Here's a card-driven game where you use these cards for their different abilities and things, and you also have your little meeples. Where's the pink ones? Because I always play pink in this game. You've got your little meeples with a little flag bearer, and your I can't remember what it's called, the big one, but you've got one there. There's the El Grande himself, the big king, and these are the dials where you can secretly choose some stuff. You put them face down, you go, oh, I'm going to put my guys in Sevilla there. So that's how the game plays. That's not how the game plays at all. That is a very rough overview of what's in the box. There's a lot in the box. There's a big box, which is the problem. Transporting it is a problem. If I take this one, it means I've got to sacrifice a couple of other games, so it doesn't really get played as often as I'd like. But I do still love it. I'm going to make an effort this year to get through 3 of the expansions. I want to play it at least 3 times this year. Try and play 3 more of the expansion. We'll play it again first time, then the second one played with a different expansion, and then the third time with another different expansion to play it again, because I really like it. And the box is over here. El Grande, if you haven't played it, give it a go. Don't let this put you off. This boring thing here, don't let it put you off. It's a really fun game. So, El Grande, don't let the front of the box put you off. It's also the best area control game I've ever played, and St. Petersburg 2nd edition, the best engine building game I've ever played. Don't let the box cover put you off. So this is an engine building game. As I said, this is part of the board where you can have the cards in these spaces, and what you do is you get the cards and you lay them out in the spaces. It's got their cost there at the top, and there's also symbols for different things and symbols in the top right for different things that work for other bits, and then it tells you what your income you get from them in the bottom. There's green cards for the different people. There are also yellow cards for different market goods, so there's fish and chickens and whatever they are, lettuces, I think, and fish and stuff. And then you're going to have all these different cards, and what you do is you're going to get income in the different rounds depending on what round it is. So in the green round, you're going to get income from your green people, which give you money because that's your trading goods and stuff. But as the rounds go on, these are different symbols representing the different rounds in the game. You're going to have these different things that give you more stuff. So this one gives you 6 money and 2 points. This one gives you 2 money and 4 points, etc. And this is what you're trying to do. This is how you're trying to get points. And then you're going to use that money to buy more cards, to increase your engine, etc., etc. You have these symbols because the turn order is going to change every round. So one person's going to go first in this phase, then one person's going to go first in this phase, and you go clockwise. So it all makes sense that way. Yes, paper money. This is, though, the best paper money I've ever felt. It is thick plastic. It's the only downside, I reckon, to this game is paper money. People look at it and they go, oh no, paper money. And I go, hey, just give it a little feel. Because it's nice and thick plastic. And then people go, oh, it's not too bad, actually. And you get used to it. It's fine. It's not like Monopoly money. But again, same as the big box edition for El Grande. There are lots of expansions here I haven't played with yet. I've played with the Marketplace expansion. I've only ever played with the Marketplace expansion. I was told to do that before I'd played the game before. And yes, it is very good. Again, if you like engine building games, you don't mind how a game looks, give this one a go. It's St. Petersburg. The next one is one of my favourite co-op games. That is the Grizzled. Now this is the Armistice Edition. I haven't actually played the Armistice Edition itself, but inside here is the base game of the Grizzled and Grizzled at Your Orders expansion as well. So let's take a look inside the box. So this again is a card game, so it's a co-op. It's like a co-op survival game where you're going to be playing these cards. You're forced to play these cards out of your hand, and they've got a different thing on them. So you can see this has got a whistle and rain. This has got snow and a bullet. And if you get 3 of the same symbol down, so say here you have 3 bullets in play, then you would lose. So you're trying to play all the cards, or as many cards as your hand as possible, in order to get cards from one deck to another deck. When you've played them, they go in this deck, and when you draw them from this deck, but some of them go back into this deck, and you raise it up. So you're trying to reduce this one to build this one up, and when this deck runs out, then you win the game. But If you play 3 of the same symbol, you're going to sort of bust, for lack of a better phrase, and you're going to put more cards back in that deck, then you draw more cards, and you've got to play more cards, and you start getting further behind. I'm not explaining that very well, but it is really good, I promise. The artwork on the cards is really nice. You've got all these different things as well. These are different knocks, they're called. You've got Prideful, you may only withdraw if your hand is empty, which means Prideful means that you can't withdraw. So if you've got a card, if you're going to play a card that's going to bust, so you've got 2 whistles in play, and your only other card has a whistle on it, and you've got Prideful, you've got to play that card and bust it for everyone. Whereas before you'd withdraw, which means you help one of your other teammates and stuff. And it's really, really clever. Very simple game, but there's more to it than just playing cards and not hoping you don't bust the group. There's a lot more to it than that, but it is a really fun game. So this here is the cards from the expansion and the base game. There's also some scenarios that you get in the expansion as well, which are here. These are all the chapter packs for the Armistice edition, and here are the minis. So if I can arrange those better so you can see them. There you go. These are the different minis in the game. You don't need them at all. They just represent you, and you can see one there. And all you're going to do is you're going to lie down when you withdraw. That's it. That's all they're there for. But there's a special edition, and because I like the game so much, I thought might as well just buy it anyway. But yeah, that is the Grizzled base game / expansion brackets, not included Armistice edition. Close brackets, open more brackets, yet, exclamation mark, close brackets. And now we have the first game on the list that has a bit of a cartoony look, Jamaica. Always one of my favourite bits of Jamaica is inside the box is made to look like the inside of a treasure box, and the rule book is made to look like a map as well. It's not very practical, but it's pretty. And there's the board that you're racing around, and basically that is it. It is a racing game. You're going to be racing your pirate ships around Jamaica. This is the purple one that I always use. And to do that you have cards. Let me just get these out of the way. See, things are spilled all over the place inside the middle, but everybody has a deck of cards. This is the yellow player's cards, and what you will do is you will play one face down, and then everyone will reveal their card and resolve it from left to right. So this is gain some treasure, and this is move forward. This is move forward and move forward, gain some food, and there are others like move backwards, attack, gain cannons, and etc, etc. And you know how many of those you're going to get, because there's one player at the beginning of each round is going to roll 2 dice, and then they're going to say they were different like that. You're going to place them either that way or that way, and that's going to determine which way round these activate. So if this was the way round, I'd get 3 gold, and I'd move forward 6 spaces. But if I played that card and the dice were placed this way, I'd gain 6 gold and move forward 3 spaces. It's very simple, it's a very family friendly game. When you land on the same side as somebody, or same space as somebody, you can fight them by rolling this dice. This is an automatic hit, and you can spend your cannons. These are your cannons to increase the die roll, and you roll it, and that's how much you do. Whoever's got the most will win. You get to steal treasure off people and stuff like that. It's a very fun game. You're just trying to race around the island, you're trying to collect coins, and you're trying to get as far ahead as everyone else as possible, because the further ahead you are, the more points you get at the end of the game as well. Most points wins. Absolutely cracking family game. It's fine, I saved it. Brilliant. Jamaica. Next up is one of the prettiest games I own, Samurai. This is a tile laying / area control game where you make up this island. It obviously makes up Japan, and it scales to the number of players, so depending how many players there are, depends how many of these tiles you've got. And on each of these hexes you are going to be placing these different casts, which we'll look at in a bit. So you've got player screens, get the rulebook out of the way. So these are the different casts, or casts, depending how you pronounce it. I have never been too sure. I remember looking it up at the time and forgetting. But we have the one representing religion, one representing something else, and one that is food. I can't remember what they represent, but they are there. And what you do is you have them on these maps and in the different spaces. Like there'll be one on that space, there'll be 2 on this space, and there'll be 1 on these as well. And players are going to have their own set of tiles. All these tiles do all different things. And you place them on the board on any space, so you could put one here, for example. This gives me 2 strength towards this food, because it's a food token, so it's got a food icon next to it. And when they are fully surrounded, obviously there's going to be other players' tiles here as well, you will count and see who has the most control. So you look at this building one here. I've got nothing representing buildings, but this, I think it's a Ronin, is a wild card, so I've got 2 for that one, so I would win it. But for example, maybe it was like this, so I didn't have that, but this player did this, so who's going to control this building? Well, I've got 2 because that's a wild card. They've got 4, so yellow would take that building. And then we'll look at food. Yellow hasn't got anything. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I would take this food token. And then at the end of the game, the player with the most of each of those 3 types of building will get one of these tokens. If somebody's got 2, they automatically win the game. If they haven't, if everybody's 3 players have got 1, you look to see who's got the most of the second most of stuff, because it's from Rani Kanisi, and that's how he does all his games, I think. So yeah, it's really cool. It's very pretty. I don't know why I keep putting the box so far away and then having to tip stuff out of it, but there we go. Samurai, beautiful. So I said these games aren't in order, and that is true. But I always have one game I consider head of class for the year for no reason whatsoever, probably because Terra Mystica was in the first one I've done. That's the greatest game ever made. So, this one. This is what I've been training in the gym for a whole year, so I could do this. Bear with me. It's Arcadia Quest! So I'm not going to go through all the boxes, I'm just going to go through a couple. So this is, basically it's a game, a PvP and PvE, where you have, each player has a guild. This is the purple snake guild, obviously I like the purple one. Before I got the new expansion though, I did used to play with the nice lions, because I like lions. And basically what you do is you have a guild of 3 heroes, and you go around a scenario on maps with minis, and it's awesome, and you roll dice and you fight each other, and you also fight the environment as well. So you've got to try and complete the quest while also trying to defeat your opponents as you're going around this map. Such a fun game. But here's all the stuff. This is the kind of things you get. These are the characters I had in the last game I played. Barnaby, who is a pet, Oak, Damien and Maya. They all have different abilities. They all have different amounts of health. They all have different numbers of rerolls. You also upgrade them all with the different equipment that you get. So here's all the different equipment I had in this game. I had a Dusty Blade, a Sickle, Parting Blade, Moon Ring, all this stuff that makes your characters better. When they die, they get some of these death curses. So you can see here, one of them was sinful, one of them had amnesia, so they weren't allowed to use its own ability. They all have their own abilities, and there's all different stuff like that. And because it is a come-on game, obviously it's got all these awesome minis. It's one of the bosses here, another one here, but just the normal guys as well are great. There's so much stuff in here, I'm not going to go through all of it. There's a guy here on a throne who's awesome, who's great. He's one of the first bosses you get to in the first game. Also, a ton of playable characters. This isn't all of them. A lot of the ones that are Kickstarter exclusive I got rid of because I didn't have all of them, and I am a 100%. I could either spend a fortune getting the ones that I hadn't got, or I could just sell the ones that are Kickstarter exclusive that I didn't have, so that I've got a line. That's just the kind of person I am. But man, you can't complain. There's plenty here. There's also Masmora, Dungeons of Arcadia. All of these characters here can be played in that game as well, because it's in the same universe. So you've got all these different characters, all these lovely weird people. You've got this guy here, and you've got this girl here. Just so much. There's a lot. Lots of boxes, lots of tiles, lots of bad guys. There's dragons, where once you've completed a full scenario, which goes through about 6 missions, I think it is, and you upgrade after each mission, then you can work together to fight this dragon, which is all powerful, controlled by the game as well. The AI movement, the dice rolling, it's so good. The problem is, it's a campaign game, so it's hard to get the same people to play it all the time, and you can see how hard it was for me to just pick it up to here. I've got to transport it to a game day. That's not happening. So I don't play it as much as I'd like to. Hopefully when Starcadia Quest comes out later this year, I'll play that more, because that's got one-shot adventures in, whereas this, at the moment, fingers crossed, is purely campaign-driven. But there's always Masmora if I feel like playing some stuff. But that is it. That is Arcadia Quest, leading the class of 2020. There you go, very quick, very rough look at the games going into my Hall of Fame. Again, visit jtlpodcast.com/Hall of Fame to see all of these entries with links to my reviews and also all the previous classes. I think there's only been 2 years, 2018, 2019. So give that a look over and subscribe, because I'll be doing this again next year for 2021. It's got a long time to go. But you can follow me on Twitter and Insta at jtlpodcast. Go to the blog at jtlpodcast.com. I've been Rob, aka Jesta ThaRogue. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.